All right, we've moved outside and we're going to start working on these two fenders. We got to get them stripped down and don't feel like grinding on it, so we're going to try some paint stripper. We got this called BIX Stripper, removes paint, varnish, and stain. We're going to apply coats of that. We're outside, we're in the shade. I think they want to keep this stuff wet as you apply it, so we'll just apply a bunch of coats and see if we can get this stuff to come off. Okay, I got a little bit of mixed reviews. This is the one panel we did first. It says don't brush it on, but to dab it on. I think they want it on there really thick, so we put it on there really thick. And if you can see, I mean, just nothing's really, it's not bubbling up like I believe it should on this panel. And on the other panel that we did, you can see it actually is starting to bubble up. So, you know, this stuff is not foolproof, and I guess I got to put some more coats. Another thing, I think the instructions say as long as it's wet, it's working. So maybe we got to wet out that black piece again and make sure that it stays wet so that stuff can continue to try and eat up that paint. All right, that first attempt didn't go really well. I mean, it took off kind of a layer of paint. You know, we did it up in the yard, which was a shady area. Today it's going to be more sunny, but it's not that hot, so I don't think it'll dry out. The key is you want to keep this stuff wet. If it's wet, it's working, is what they say. So, and I don't know, you know, I think our technique was fine, but maybe the product might have been kind of old. I can't remember if I got that from a friend or from my dad or whatever, but I went and got this, and we're going to start try and use this today and see if this will take it off. This particular fender, like a layer of paint did come off, but there's a layer of black under there, almost like it's ceramic paint. It's extremely tough. So we're going to try one more coat here, see how much we can get off of this, and if nothing else, we may do a little bit of sanding and get it just prepped that way for paint. All right, we're gonna let that sit maybe 30 minutes to an hour and see kind of what it looks like. Okay, so this is what we were kind of expected, and I don't know if this is the newer stripper or not, but on the inside wheel well here, we got a lot of good bubbling going on. But interestingly, out here where we did take off already a layer, we're down to that really tough layer of black, almost like a base layer. Yeah, there's some bubbling down here, so that looks good. But we're gonna get all this scraped off now and see if see what we got underneath here. Maybe just do one more little quick coat. Alright, there are signs that this is kind of working, especially here on the inside of this. Here and down here. We did scrape all over a bunch of paint off, another whole layer like. So we're going to give this another shot and see if at least one more coat before we give up. See if we can get that all to come off. And today I got my younger son Austin working with me, so we're having fun putting this thing together. Little piece by little piece, not in any kind of hurry. Well, if it's going to continue to keep coming off like this, we're going to just keep putting layers on there until we get it all off. Even here on the inside, we're still getting more paint off. I consider myself a pretty patient man, but this stuff you got to put a lot of patience, and if you do, let it do the work. It even says on one of the canisters, it said if you keep it wet and let it do the work. Look at all that. Look at all that paint right there. It's going to come off. We're just going to keep adding more layers until we do. Alright, believe it or not, this is the 5th coat of this stuff. You definitely got to keep it wet. What I've done lately is brush it on, dab it on, and then let it sit for about 15-20 minutes, then try and dab on some more. You know, this is definitely lifting. It's going to come all lifted up. There's a section right here, definitely going to have to do it again, and even here, and I've wetted it out twice already in this section, but yeah, this stuff's going to scrape off, and it's unbelievable the condition of the metal underneath. It's pretty cool. But anyway, I'll get this thing knocked out. I'll show you what it looks like when I get done, and then I'll probably try and do some fun, maybe some time lapse or something on that other fender when I get it. I'm going to drag it out here in a minute as well. So. Alright, I'm glad to say that the paint stripping on this passenger side's done. Man, that really was a pain in the butt. It took about 6 coats of that stripper on this outside, and that'd be this outside as well as the upper outer portion of the inner fender. And then I actually looked inside the inner fender. It had like a rubberized coating, and I went through 2 coats of that, and it just turned to a gooey tar. I knew we were going to have a bunch of problems trying to get all that out, so I ended up digging out a pot blaster and just spent about an hour blasting all the rubberized stuff off. Now I've got at least a nice base coat I can get some primer on. So I got this thing done. You know, I've watched several videos of some friends and stuff, and they show paint stripping, and they show brushing it on, they show scraping it off, and then they show a finished product. It looks real simple. That's a lot of work. But I still got a gallon of that stuff left, so I'm going to tackle the driver's side as well. So I'm actually going to flip around and try and get that thing started. I'm going to do try and get a little time lapse of how that paint bubbles off, and we'll get that thing. We'll let you see that and then show you when it's done. All right, thanks. All right, here's where we got to today. What's left is really just a thin maroon primer level, and probably going to leave that for now. This came off a different Jeep, and there's a bunch of bodywork repair I got to make on this. Here's a look at what we took off today, and that slow motion layer that I did was layer number 2. Session number 2, and I did three or four more after that to get to this point. So that stuff just takes forever. But body work, someone drilled some holes. There's a hole here and a hole here and a extra high spot right there. So I got to do some body work right in there. Metal work, this is where the horn was mounted. For some reason this rusted through, so I'll cut out a section and do body work there. And there's one more spot back here on this back side, down here low. This is a body mount hole. There's a bracket that comes off of there, so I'll need to cut that out. I will be filling in a lot of these holes because I won't be using those, but when we get all that body work and that metal replaced, we'll end up finishing this off with an orbital sander, get it down to metal, and then get it prepped for primer. So you'll have to wait, and we'll see about more of that next time.